Hey friends, today I have a new car for the channel. It's not a Honda, and it is someone else's old project car, so there's a lot to dig in. Let's get started.
We're in a Mazda Miata. It's definitely not a Honda.
Ha! It's a Miata, as you probably already figured out. This is not a Honda, even though that graphic before said Hondas with Hoel. It's a 99 Miata. It's a 10th anniversary edition, which means, yes, it does have this one special color. It has the 6-speed transmission. It has the LSD. It does not have the blue seats that normally come in the 10th anniversary, but it does have the blue wheel. But this isn't stock as it might look. This is someone's project car. So today we're going to take it all apart. Well, by take it apart, I mean we're going to look at all the parts and see exactly what is in here, compare it to what the list online, the parts list that was on the Facebook Marketplace ad, see what we need to fix, what we want to update. There's the big important part. It's a turbo. So let's get started. Today we are at AE Race headquarters, where my buddy Tony is going to let us use his shop and his lift to do this investigation, this archaeological dig on this project car. What I love about this car is that everything on it works. It drives great, it feels great, the turbo makes cool noises, and it is fast. Things that aren't here don't work. There's no fog lights, so they don't work. There's no air conditioning. I believe that's what's supposed to be here. Miata guys, I'm sure, are ready to start correcting me in the comments. This is my first Miata. The guy I bought it from is super cool. He gave me a list of parts. Anytime you buy a project car, especially since I don't think he built it, I think he bought it built, you definitely want to go through and check what you actually have. Check the condition of everything. I think this build is a few years old. And then, of course, we're going to check the condition of the normal factory stuff, motor mounts, suspension pieces, focusing on soft parts that tend to wear out. And well, let's see what is on the list. ISR T25 turbo. Now I definitely see a turbo. It says, well, it doesn't say ISR. When I look online, I see ones that look exactly like that and they say ISR. It has a different logo. Now my understanding is this is an aftermarket replacement for a Nissan 240. 240 guys are about to jump in the comments and tell me I'm wrong too. But what I'm expecting, what I believe is this is ISIS, which is ISR before they rebranded for obvious reasons in 2015. So that's the first thing. So far it looks like it's there, it works, it spins. I don't like that there's no filter and there's questionable gasket maker visible in there. So that's something to fix. BEGI turbo manifold and downpipe. It definitely has a turbo manifold and downpipe. Flowmaster exhaust. The exhaust does sound pretty good on this car. I haven't been under it yet, so that's something we're going to inspect and see what we have, see what size it all is. JDM Sport intercooler. That's like an eBay intercooler, and it looks like that's what's on there. And you can see it. It looks a little rough. Again, this build looks like it's a few years old. I do see the JDM Sport branding on that coupler, so it's probably what that is. Looks good so far. There's no blow-off valve though. That's a problem. Unknown 1-inch front sway bar, so that's on our list to check once we get it in the air. And ID 1000 injectors. That'd be pretty cool because those are pretty good injectors. We sell them on aerace.com. They're not, those are no cheapies. So we're gonna get in there and take a look at those. A flying Miata stage 1 clutch. You know what I'm not gonna do today is probably drop that transmission and look at that. So basically we're gonna evaluate that. If everything else checks out and is right, then that's probably actually in there. An OPL dual core radiator. Well, that's here and it not leaking. I've had this in my garage for a couple of weeks, couple days, I don't know, and it looks pretty good. 3-port boost controller. Tony, what do we got here?
2-port. That is a 2-port.
That is a 2-port.
For internal wastegate.
Throw it out. We're here with Tony
I'm
from
cleaning up.
AERace.com. He's also the owner and janitor.
He's
hard
clean
at
up
work.
services, wipe asses. We're not supposed to say that. Huh?
All right, you know what? Nope, this is why you're not on camera.
We're cutting that out.
Back to the mods list. Megascore ECU. I don't know what model, but allegedly there's a Megascore ECU. It does seem to be tuned well. It doesn't smoke, and it drives great in under boost and not. A 1ZZ COP conversion. That, of course, is the coil on plug. 1ZZ would be a Toyota Yaris? Yaris?
I believe it's Yaris, and what else do they come in? Corollas? Horse?
Only the best and highest performance Toyotas. Wow.
We're cutting that out.
Cut. BEGI coolant reroute and innovative MTXL wide band. So speaking of the wide band, let's take a look up front. Let's look inside. So 10th anniversary edition. So yeah, that's the Nardi wheel. And most importantly, we've got the slightly blue gauges with the chrome accents. No, that's not what's most important. Okay, here's the innovative wideband. That works. I don't know about this install. That's top of the list to fix. The boost gauge and this clock. This is like a 3D printed panel, and it's I'm kind of scared to pull this out, but wiring is one of the things we're going to be inspecting today. This could certainly be improved, but everything works, so that's good. I don't know what this is coming off the boost. It's like bare. There's a couple other bare wires in here. Mildly scary, but send it. I'm assuming this USB coming out of here is for the Megasquirt. This is for the radio. There is a stereo in here, even though it doesn't look like one, because I can connect to it via Bluetooth, and that one speaker does work. So we'll investigate that further.
First thing I see from out there, the GMIAT sensor just tapped into the intercooler.
I like the electrical tape, though. Masking duct tape. Duct tape.
Is it Gorilla? No.
So what sensor is tapped in the intercooler?
It's an IAT sensor. A GMIAT at that.
That's a air intake.
That's right.
Right there. Okay.
Take air temperature sensor. Same ones we sell, so can't knock it.
But I've never seen them put in an intercooler.
No, not right there. It's going to the charge pipe.
So I do see this is in fact Flowmaster exhaust as advertised. Doesn't look like it was done last week, but it's there. These are aftermarket. What is this? Like a skid plate?
Oh yeah, it is.
On the
Aftermarket skid plates.
That's cool. I like it. I'll take it.
Got a bit of some leaks.
All of my cars leak.
Yeah, this one's bad though.
Okay. Suspension we've got. They look like Bilsteins. Oh yeah. That is a genuine Bilstein suspension. So so far,
or Bill Steins?
I don't know. I barely speak English.
Yeah.
So far everything has been as advertised. That's pretty cool. But it's always good to double check when you buy someone else's project. Before we even talk about mods or what I want to do in this car in the future, we have to make sure it's safe, that it's not going to break on us. Let's look at this rear suspension.
We go over all the bushings.
Poke them. Gotta poke them. Oh yeah, that's not very scientific.
No, they ain't. They're not all cracked and beat up though, so.
They are or aren't cracked?
No, they are not.
They're not cracked and beat up.
That's surprising.
That is surprising. So the transmission has been pulled, probably because it's missing a bolt, which means maybe it does have that flying Miata clutch. And for now, I'm going to assume it does, because everything else that the car said that it had. We still need to check on those. So we still have to check on a couple of things, but so far so good. That is some very clean oil. He did tell me that it had all fresh fluids. My favorite discovery so far is the zip tie holding this bumper on. And on this side, what is that?
I don't know.
Send it. So short-term things that I want to improve right away. Definitely want a filter on here. Definitely want a blow-off valve on here. Not a big fan of this delete. There's got to be a better way to do that. Doing car archaeology on a car that you've never had the model is a lot different. I've done car archaeology on so many Honda Civics, EFs, hatchbacks, and I know right away when I look at something like, is that the factory fastener? Like, is that the factory fastener for this on a Miata? I have no idea. But at least it matches. This is the radiator support. This should have like a rubber bushing in it. At least it would if it was a Honda. Or else you get vibration. Okay, this has to go. Along with upgrading that whole exhaust, I would want to replace all this intercooler piping with something that's actually TIG welded for this shape and size and not use these big rubber things. This intercooler looks pretty rough as well. That could go. While I have it on the lift, I'm going to do my first actual upgrade, which is to put these innovative 60A motor mounts. This is not a how-to video because while there's already better ones out there for these exact mounts for this exact car, and you probably don't have a lift anyways, so you wouldn't do it this way. Way up here under the dash where you cannot see, and I can barely see, is an old Megasquirt ECU. I am going to be upgrading that to a Link Monsoon X ECU. Link is what I'm running in the CRX, and it's what I will be running in the CRV. Well, let's let Tony explain the features of this Monsoon.
The biggest, best bang for your buck right here. It'll do 4 sequential injection, 4 direct spark. You can also drive distributors, or if you want to do batch fire or wasted spark. Multi-point group fuel injection, some run 8 cylinders or 6 cylinders. Has 1 knock sensor input on it, 4 digital inputs, 2 temperature inputs, 4 analog inputs, 2 dedicated trigger inputs for cam and crank, and comes with a either onboard 4-bar or 7-bar. Most of the newer stuff is going to be all 7-bar map sensors. So great for any 4-cylinder. You also have can high, can low. So if you wanted to run, say, a can lambda, you could free up one of your analog inputs. Typically with this, we'll do direct spark on it, sequential injection, and then we'll use one of our Bosch flat response knock sensors, either AM inline, wideband, or a can lambda. Again, this will pair perfect with MXG 1.2 Strata 7-inch dash. We carry here as well too.
So there you have it. That's how we inspect a car, especially a project car, when we pick it up before we start doing anything crazy to it. I hope you enjoyed it or learned something. I don't know. I learned a lot making it because I've never had a Miata before. I'll see you next time.